Hi everyone, it's Donna here from Donna's Creative Corner, and today I have lots of stuff for you. I have lots of trims, different styles. I have some panels, and I have some bodices, and I also have some applique sets. And so I have a lot to get through, so let's get started. Actually, I'm going to start off with something that was in my last video. It was this Alencon re-embroidered trim, the corded trim. I didn't have anybody interested in purchasing the entire length of one. This is lot V, so I'm going to offer it in 1 yard lengths. It is 6 inches wide, and I will give you a close-up real quick. It's gorgeous. It's in excellent condition. Clear sequins, round beads, pearl beads, very pretty pattern. So that is lot V, and I'm offering this at $4.50 per yard, which I think is an excellent price for something of this quality and this size. I hope you think so too. That is V. Now I'm starting off with new stuff today. This is lot C, and I have two different lengths of this. Very pretty embroidered trim. It has round, pretty large pearl beads and sequins in the center of each flower, and then some beads and sequins along the edge of the scallop. And up close, this is what it looks like. Very pretty embroidery. This is white. The 1 and 3, I have one length that's 1 3/4 yards, which is this one here, and I'm asking $4.25 for this one. And then I also have a length that is 2 3/4 yards, the very same style you just saw, for $6.50. And that is lot C. So tell me which length you are interested in if you want to order that one. Okay, lot D. This one I am offering at a discount because it's a pretty pattern, very pretty embroidered pattern with pearl beads and sequins in the center of each flower. However, these all come from used wedding dresses, so there are some beads and sequins missing occasionally. Like there's a couple there, there's a flower missing. There's several with beads and then a flower missing. Let me show you the detail of this. Come on. Really pretty embroidery, pretty beads when they're there. I'm offering this, it is a 3 1/3 yard length, and I'm going to offer this at $5 for the whole 3 1/3 yards. What you can do, you can either take off the beads and sequins and use them in a different project, and then you have this very pretty trim left that you can use as well. So $5 for the whole 3 1/3 yards, and I only have one length of that, and that is lot D. Lot E is gorgeous. And believe it or not, this is the hem. Oops, let me come back out. Sorry. This is the hem of a dress, and I have 8 yards of it. It measures 11 inches wide, long by 13 inches long by 6 inches at the widest point, and it has beads, and these are iridescent sequins, so they really catch the light very well. There aren't a whole lot of them on there, but there's a fair amount. What I'm going to do like what you see here is one whole yard. I'm going to offer this, if you want just one medallion, per medallion, $1.25 per medallion, or a whole yard of it for $6.50, and you will get 6 medallions in a yard. And I have, I think, 8 yards of this available. This dress was stunning. Stunning. You can imagine this going along the hem of the train. Let me bring you in so you can see the detail on the embroidery and the beadwork. I'll start at the top here. We've got this pretty flourishes at the top. Very pretty embroidery work. Some flowers, and then this pretty scallop at the bottom. So this $1.25 per medallion. If you order more than one, you will get these little connector pieces in between. If you order a yard, you'll get the connector pieces in between. If you order just the medallion, you'll get just the medallion. $1.25. 1 yard, $6.50. So that is lot E. Okay, lot F is going to take some explaining. Lot F, unfortunately, well, maybe I was wrong. Oh yes, some of the stitching goes through the appliques that hold the beads and sequins on this one. So what I've done, what I can do, I'm going to sell these uncut so that you can decide what you want to do with them. There are a couple of options of what you can do with them. You can either cut around the outside of the trim on both sides, and this is kind of what it looks like. Or you can cut out the flowers. You're going to see this coming up in a minute, and you'll get these pretty little flowers. I have 4 lengths. Let me consult my notes here to figure out what I decided to do with these. I have 4 lengths that are about 1 3/4 yards long, and I'm gonna sell each length for $2 uncut. You'll get it just the way you see. Now this particular dress, the hem started, it had swoops that went along the outside and then went up into the train. So part of it will only have satin on one side, and then it'll go down to a larger length of it that has satin on both sides. So that's what you will get in the 1 3/4 yards for $2. If you want me to cut that length for you, the price will be $3.50. And I'm going to need to show you a detail. And you will need to tell me whether you want flowers cut out of it, or if you want me to cut a hem like this over here. So that's $3.50 if you want me to cut it for you. Let me show you the detail on this. Again, pretty embroidery. There's pearl beads in the center of each flower, and quite a few clear sequins on there that really catch the light. You see that? So that's what this trim looks like. $2 uncut, $3.50 cut, and you'll need to tell me how you want me to cut it. And that was lot G. I'm sorry, that was lot F. Lot G are flowers that I have already cut. This is a set of 12 flowers, just like you saw in the trim. These are already cut for you. They measure 3 inches by 2 inches. Very pretty decoration. Set of 12, $3 per set, and I have 5 sets available, and that was lot G. Okay, lot H, we're moving on to medallions now. Lot H is a large medallion. It is the corded, am I all the way out? I can't even get it all in the shot. Corded Alencon lace. It has sections of it that have the crosshatch stitching with beads in the center, and I'll show you a close-up in a minute. H measures 25 inches long by 11 inches at the widest point. And I'll show you close up. Starts to the point, comes down. There's lots of different ways you can cut this up. The stitching does go all over, so you will have to be creative as far as gluing the stitching down before you cut it, so you don't lose the beads and sequins. And this one also has the sequins that are like little flowers underneath each of the, or most of the pearls. That was kind of unusual. I had smaller panels like this in my last video. And there's the beadwork, the beads on the crosshatch. And it comes all the way down. You have lots of flowers that you could cut out of this, or appliques. So, large panel, lot H. I am asking $6 for this panel. Lot I is a extra large panel, same as what you just saw, but much larger. I am going to pause the video here. I can't get it all in. I'm going to pause the video here and insert a picture of the whole thing right here. Okay, this one measures 30 inches by 31 inches, so it's a good sized panel. There's lots you can get out of this. This panel, however, does have a couple of sections that are discolored, and I'm gonna bring you in so you can see some of the detail. I don't even know, like here's a section that's not discolored, and then here's one of the sections right here that has some, the cording is kind of yellowed a little bit. There's that section, and on the other side, this one not quite as discolored, but it's still a little bit yellowed there. There's also a section, a small section at the very bottom. I'm just going to pan slowly here so you can see the detail of all of this, the beaded cross hatching, the flower sequins, down to here's the other section at the bottom that's a little bit discolored. I don't know if that could be laundered out. I haven't tried. You might be able to get that out with like OxyClean or some other whitening detergent. But because of those flaws, I am offering this large panel lot I for $8.50. And I lost my letter. Oh, there it is. Now, I have two bodices, or no, first of all I have some applique sets. Lot J is a set of 3 different appliques, 3 different styles. You can see the difference here. Flower and a couple of swirls with some little flowers. A larger flower with lots of pearl swirls. These are fairly heavily beaded and sequined. And then a little flower with another swirl. So let me go in on this. This one here particularly is fairly heavily beaded. It's got nice big swirls coming off of it. And then the larger of the 3, fairly heavily beaded as well. The largest of these measures about 6.5 inches, and these 2 smaller ones are about 4.5 to 5 inches. Lot J is a set of 3, and I'm asking $3.50 for the set of 3, and I have 12 sets available of that. Quite a few of those. Now moving on to the bodices. Lot K is this. Let me see, am I all the way out? This is going to be difficult to show. I'm going to do my best here. Lot K is this gorgeous bodice. I'm going to start at the top here. It has the beaded collar. Let me go in just a little bit. It has the beaded collar with the heavily beaded flowers there and the dangle in the middle of it. And then flowers all the way around, appliques all the way around. In the center is a kind of a tulle with some beading on it down to the breast area. Fairly heavily beaded with these gorgeous big flowers. Those are all over this. There's some tear-shaped beads in here. There's a gorgeous cluster there. You can see the dimension in that. Going down the front, got lots of different appliques. Nice beadwork. This is white. There are some clear sequins in here, but it's mostly beadwork. Going down, there's some that goes off to the side, and then going down to this beautiful point down at the bottom, and this is on tulle, so you'll be able to get this off fairly easily. Now I have to say, with any bodice, it's more difficult to cut it up because the stitching for the beadwork normally goes all the way through the satin, so you'll have to find a way to seal in the stitches before you can cut it up. But if you can do that, then you've got this gorgeous beadwork here. Now let me show you the sleeves on these. Let me come out a little bit. The sleeves are, the top part is on tulle, and it has the same as what you saw on the front of the bodice. Nice beadwork. Lots you can work with here. These are on tulle, so you'll be able to cut these out fairly easily. Going down the sleeve, there's a little applique there, and then down to the cuff, which is very nice as well. Now let me flip it over so you can see the back. Back, it for the most part is, oops, let me go out. For the most part is open all the way around the back. You have the back of the collar with some satin covered buttons there. Not as much on the back. Comes down to a zipper. You have some satin covered buttons at the bottom here that you can take off as well. So this bodice is bodice K, the short bodice, and I am asking $13 for this. Now, the last bodice is actually almost a dress, almost a full dress. It is like extra large. I am not going to be able to show this very well here, but if you look at my last video, at the very end of it, I showed some sneak peeks of what I had coming up. This is the one on the far left of what I was filming, and it is, I'm going to show you, it is like almost the length of a dress. I believe this bodice would come down to probably just above, thigh, around thigh length. It starts at the top here. I'm going to show you detail in a minute, but I just want to kind of show it as much as I can, and then it keeps going, and it keeps going, and it keeps going down to the bottom hem. I've already cut the skirt and train off of it, and I'm working on that right now, but I have this extra large bodice available. Let me show you the detail here. It has the collar, whoops, the collar at the top. These sequins have started to yellow a little bit, particularly at the top here. They're kind of a golden color now. Let me go in so you can see the beadwork. Very heavily beaded along the top. Very shiny, as you can see. Look at the sparkle in that. So that is the collar. Then there's some tulle with some beadwork, some beads on the tulle, and then it comes down to, I'm going to show one side of it here. Very heavily beaded sequins, gorgeous beaded swirls coming down here, and then this gorgeous part in the middle. Heavily beaded, these are like bead swirls going around here. And then that part keeps going and going and going down to the bottom of this. Now you will also have some pretty lace fabric that has beaded and sequined flowers all over it. If you can see now, the stitching goes through the satin, so again you will have to, this is another bodice that you will have to be able to seal in the stitching on the back in order to cut it up. Or you can just cut it, cut this whole thing out and use it that way. And it goes down to some more heavy beadwork at the bottom, starting at the top of the beadwork here, going down to a point, and then it goes off to the side all the way to there. Now that is the bodice part. Now let me show you the sleeve, which is I think the best part of the dress. Oh boy. Alright. There is, ooh, this is difficult. Okay. You've got the beadwork at the top. There's a section of tulle that has sequins running down it. You see that? Then some more of that gorgeous beadwork here. coming down to this whole section of dangles at the bottom here. And I don't see any dangles, anything missing from them, so it's all intact. Look at that, isn't that gorgeous? Oh, there we go. Look at the movement. Then it keeps going down, and you have the cuff, which has a lot of beadwork on it as well. And it has button closure at the back, so you've got your fabric or satin covered buttons that you can use there as well. Now, let me flip it over so you can see the gorgeousness on the back. This dress still had its tag on it, Majestic Bridal Collection. It says it's a size 10, which really means a 8, probably. The back has more dangles at the top of the collar, and then these strands of beads coming down, connecting to the back panel. So you've got all that beadwork there, and then not as much beadwork, but there is still some on the back side, coming down to this is disconnected, so you can zip. I think there was probably, oh yeah, there's a clear, one of those clear snaps there to close it up. And then on the back you have more of this beaded fabric going all the way down to the bottom. Okay, if you are creative, you can, I made sure not to cut the seam at the bottom. If you are creative, you can take this apart and make it into a dress, a shorter dress. This, since there's so much on this, so much to work with, this is lot L, the full length bodice, and I am asking $20 for this bodice, this gorgeous bodice. Okay, that is all I have for today, as if that wasn't enough. As always, if you are interested in anything you see today, I prefer that you send me an email to the email address that's going to be in the description box below. If you are a first-time customer, please send me your zip code if you are in, or zip code if you are in the ES, your postal code if you are in Canada, and your country if you are outside of the US, so that I can calculate shipping. I will also need your PayPal email address, so that I can send you an invoice through PayPal. Shipping is through PayPal only, or payment is through PayPal only. And that's all I have for now. I still have that one gorgeous dress that I haven't been able to cut into yet, but I'm down to one now, so I'm going to have to cut that up. Plus, I have 6 dresses on the way. They should be here about midweek, so look forward to a sneak peek. Thanks, and you have a good day. Bye-bye.